Alright guys, today I'll be giving you my top 10 new credits for the 2025 season. Now, why am I making a video like this? Yeah, I'm busy. I don't have time to edit like all these clips together, even if they're my clips. Yeah, I just don't have the time. I've got school, I work. I don't work at Seabreeze right now because they're closed, but still work at Rock City Ninja, so I got that going on. I got some other stuff, and I mean, you have to set priorities. Do I want to make a ton of videos and edit them like all fancy and whatever? I mean, my videos were never like super high quality in terms of editing, but I mean, this is sort of just what I do for videos. It's basically a podcast. You're basically just looking at me talk right now, and that's what I'm going to do. I feel like that's the easiest way for me to actually get high quality videos out without like actually having to spend that much time. I know it might sound lazy, but like hopefully you get it. It's senior year. There's a lot of stuff to do. Now I will say I didn't get that many credits this season. I only got 21, and that's for a few reasons. I had some other stuff to focus on. Obviously, I was working at Seabreeze, but I also just went to a lot of parks I've already been to. Like I went to Kennywood just a few weeks ago, only got one credit there. Canada's Wonderland, I only got a couple credits at. Six Flags America, same thing. Like I prioritized the parks that I really hadn't been to in a long time this season over brand new ones. Six Flags America in particular, because it's closing. I'll try to get out to CGA at some point as well. But with that being said, let's get into the list. Coming in at number 10 is Merlin's Mayhem at Dutch Wonderland. I really like this ride. I think it's about on par with the Vekomas. It's a nice family coaster. It's got some light moments of positive G's. It doesn't really have any airtime, but that's fine. It's got one pretty decent lateral kink if you're in the front towards the end of the ride there. Yeah, I think it's a fun ride, but it's not mind-blowing for super high-level enthusiasts, which is why it's only at 10. Coming in at number 9 is Firebird at Six Flags America. I definitely like this one a bit more than some people do. I hear some people say it's one of the worst B&Ms, or was one of the worst B&Ms. I definitely didn't think so. The corkscrew was very whippy. That definitely gave some good snap. The drop off the mid-course, even though it's not really a mid-course, doesn't trim or have trims for that matter. Yeah, that was pretty good. You got some floater there. The other inversion, the vertical loop, is a normal vertical loop. I didn't really feel too many strong positive G's on that. It feels like the first of its kind. It feels like the first B&M, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. I actually liked it. It had that nice fire effect working, so that was cool. Yeah, it's definitely number 9 on the list for me, though. Coming in at number 8 is Yukon Striker. Now, this one could be higher for a lot of people, but as you know, I'm probably not the biggest fan of dives in the world, and this one's not an exception to that. This is probably my favorite dive coaster by a little bit. I definitely like Valravn a bit more after my October ride, but I still think Yukon's slightly better. It just has a bit of a stronger layout. The drop's solid. You get good floater airtime the whole way down, and a little bit of butterflies. Not that much. There's definitely a ride later on the list that gives way better butterflies than pretty much anything. But you've got a few other good inversions. I think the vertical loop's fairly intense. It's definitely not gray out intense, but it's fun. The sense of speed's also pretty good on this ride. The ending is pretty weak. You just hit the second drop, which doesn't really give any airtime even in the back. And then you hit a little floater, not really floater hill, you just get a little lift there. And then a weak helix to finish off the ride, not delivering positives. It's a fun ride, don't get me wrong, but I definitely thought there were 7 better that I rode this year. Coming in at number 7 is Roar at Six Flags America. This is one I was definitely sad to see close because it's a unique and fun ride. You could tell this was one of the first ever GCIs, and I think that's actually a good thing. It was a little rough, but definitely not too rough for most people. I could handle pretty much whatever, but yeah, it definitely had a bit of a bite. And the airtime was a bit better than some people said. Some people told me this ride's pretty forceless, and I definitely didn't think so. It had some pretty strong airtime moments, some decent laterals, the good wooden coaster stuff that you'd expect. It's overall just a really solid wooden coaster that's borderline top 100 for me, not quite in there, but it's really solid still. Coming in at number 6 is Kingdom Coaster at Dutch Wonderland. This one surprised me. This ride, being a CCI, is really good at laterals. I mean, you're pinned to the side of the train for over half the ride, and they're really strong laterals too. It's pretty smooth. You get a few decent airtime moments. None of it's ejector, it's all floater. It's varying strengths of floater. Some's a really strong floater, and others are very weak, just barely lifting out of your seat. But I think it's fine because the laterals are really what this ride's about. That's what most CCIs are about. And I would definitely recommend coming to Dutch Wonderland, if not for the rest of the park, just for this. Now, we've made it to the top 5. Coming in at number 5 is Flash at Great Adventure. This ride, I feel like I wanted a bit more out of, but I still thought it was fun. I think it's definitely a back row ride, especially for the spikes. You get great floater on those. The stall's good. It doesn't really have much whip, but it's maybe the longest stall I've ever been on. That is ridiculously long. It has some other decent airtime moments and lateral moments. It's a pretty full package, but nothing on the ride like truly stood out as an ultra intense element to me, which is why it's here at number 5. Now, the battle between 4 and 3 on this list is easily the hardest battle on the list. I mean, these two coasters are back-to-back in my rankings, so it was a really tough decision. But coming in at number 4 is Steel Curtain at Kennywood. I love this ride. It is such a full package. I mean, it delivers pretty much every force imaginable for a non-launch coaster. It's got extremely violent laterals in some points, great positive Gs, good airtime, and I mean, the sequencing is really what makes it special. The combination of just going from a good negative G moment to really strong positives to getting thrown around laterally. I mean, it's great. You've also got that football theme, which it's not too strong of a theme, but it is themed to football. You've got a few commentators in the station, so it's cool. I really don't like the seatbelts. That's maybe the thing holding it back from being number 3 on the list. But other than that, it's a fantastic ride. But just barely edging it out is Siren's Curse at Cedar Point. If I was only basing it off of my July rides on this ride would definitely be at 4 on the list. But let me tell you, my October rides on this were something special. I mean, my October rides felt like almost on par with Velocicoaster. It was that strong. This ride's just a madhouse. It's so good. It's similar to Steel Curtain in that it's very well rounded. It provides pretty much every force imaginable for a non-launch coaster. But even better than that is the fact that you have one of the best drops on any coaster with that tilt track, delivering the strongest butterflies on any coaster easily. And on top of that, it's just got such good theming. I mean, this is a top 5 coaster for me for theming. I know that sounds really stupid given I've been to Disney and Universal Parks, Dollywood, all those, but I just love the atmosphere of this ride. Plus, it's got the best onboard audio of any coaster, so, you know, this ride's just such a masterpiece. But coming in at number 2 is Top Thrill 2 at Cedar Point. If it weren't for one element in particular, I definitely think Sirens and Curtain would be ahead of this. But of course, the spiral is just that ridiculous. The rest of the ride's fun, but I feel like it really relies on the speed more than anything, which if you're not in the very front, you can't really feel that all that well. But the top hat is truly one of the all-time great elements, mainly the spiral. The spiral, I've already talked about it. If you ragdoll in the back right, prepare yourself. It is maybe gonna hurt if you're not ready for it. It's truly one of the most despicable elements ever designed. And I mean, it truly wouldn't be the same without that. I think if you ride anywhere but the back right, you're really not going to get that full effect of the spiral, so I would definitely sit there. I did consider moving it down a couple spots just because, again, you have to sit in the back right for it to really be fully effective. But man, if you sit there, that is just one of the most ridiculous things you'll ever feel in your entire life, I'm telling you. But of course, coming in at number 1 by an absolute landslide is Alpenfury. Yeah, this one really had no competition. This ride is the only ride that can actually compete with Air Force One for me. I currently have Air Force One over it, but they're very close. Like, every time I talk about this ride, I'm so tempted to put it at my number 1. Because every time I talk about it, I realize just how perfect this ride actually is. It has every force imaginable. I mean, people who say this thing's repetitive and that it doesn't have any forces besides, like, hang time or laterals, whatever, like, you're uneducated. You don't know how to read forces. Like, I'm sorry, you're just factually wrong. This ride does everything, and it does it all pretty much better than any other coaster. I think I've said it before, but I'll say it again. The Ice Winder roll, the Serpent Fire roll, and the double inverting top hat are the 3 best inversions ever designed, and potentially the 3 best singular elements ever designed. I mean, you just get such disgustingly strong ejector. Like, I'm talking Wildcat's Revenge finale level strength, combined with ridiculous laterals and disorientation on all 3 of those. And then all 3 of them are double inversion, so you just do it again. I mean, they're pure insanity. Like, they're the best elements ever, basically. You also get the best launch currently in existence, in my opinion. That is absurd. You get insane positive Gs throughout the ride, ridiculous backbending laterals. It has the best pacing of any coaster I've ever been on. I mean, again, as I'm saying this, I'm tempted to move it to my number 1 spot. Like, just talking about it, it's impossible to imagine how someone could underrate this. And I'm sorry, it's right up there with Air Force One for me. I think Air Force One still takes the cake just because of how strong that airtime is, but this one's right behind it. And it is easily the best coaster I rode this year, and my favorite new credit of the year. So that is my ranking of the top 10 new credits I got this year. Let me know what you guys thought of this video down in the comments below. Make sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.